for a safe return to racing. And boy, it's a doozy. All right, this is Coach Iron Pete from Co-Father Sports. It's Friday, May 29th. Last Friday in May. We're going into June. It's a pretty humid day out here in New York City, Staten Island. I'm about to go out for a nice sweaty run. But before I do that, I need to get some things off my chest here, and I want to make sure that you guys understand. Okay, here we go. We got Ironman. I want to make sure that you guys understand this whole return to racing thing. You know, this whole thing about a new normal is just scaring the living bejeebers out of me. Let me just run down. This whole thing about the new normal is just scaring me, and I'm gonna be talking about that at length for the next, I don't know, several days. Who knows? I mean, the way things are developing right now, this is just crazy. Okay, all right. Anyway, here we got this guy. Okay, I went on to the Ironman website, Facebook page, and it says over here, the world has changed dramatically in the past months. The way we approach everyday actions has taken new shape as health and safety take priority. We can't wait to start racing again and know that athletes around the world share this feeling. Yeah, I guess so. But before we can start racing, we must adapt to a new reality. Anybody who thinks that these whole changes, I don't care whether it's Ironman or even just getting out of the house and shopping or going into a bar, this whole thing about a new normal, when they talk about a new normal, this means permanency. It doesn't mean temporary and then we go back to an old normal. This means permanency. See the disturbing stuff in this? All right. We've reimagined our races in 2020 and beyond. Our teams have been busy assessing every aspect of the way we do things so that when the time is right, we can safely conduct races again in a way that reduces risk for athletes, volunteers, and our host communities. You know, guys, all right, coronavirus, all right, the CDC numbers have continually come out and they are very, very consistent on this. Is a 99.7% survivability rate. And the target population, the high-risk population, are people who are frail and have conditions, immunosuppressing conditions. I think that's what they call it, okay? Basically, these are people who have such frail health that any stress, added stress to their body and they die, okay? We're Ironman. We are maybe some of the most healthy people in the country. Now, I understand that there's an isolated 1 or 2 people that have probably died from this in the triathlete world, but we're talking about 1 or 2 people. All right, people die in an Ironman swim a lot more than from this disease. Just giving you a little bit of perspective here. All right. I'm going to go into the Ironman Athlete Smart. They call this Athlete Smart thing here. The Ironman team has been busy reviewing the way we do things with a focus on athlete experience and race operations so that when it is safe to hold races again, we can do so in a way that reduces the risk for athletes and volunteers. As a result, we have developed a summary of best practice guidelines that will be implemented at races effective immediately. So they talk about this whole reality, blah, blah, pushing forward, eternal, blah, 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 this whole pontificating stuff. Okay, anyway, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. I want to make sure you guys understand this. All right, we're going to look at the 5 principles, and we're going to get a nice laugh out of these guys. We're going to get a nice laugh out of this, all right? Anyway, they're talking about 5 guidelines here. We got enhanced hygiene, screening and education, density reduction, my favorite is touch point minimization, and athlete reliance. Let's go into each one of these, okay? Enhanced hygiene, all right. Enhanced hygiene, hand sanitizer, hand washing stations, and disinfectant wipes will be readily available around our race venues. Cleaning of common venue venue areas will be enhanced. All right, fine. I have no problem with that. That you want to keep everything nice and clean, that's fine. I have no problem with that. All right. Staff and volunteers will be provided with face coverings and gloves to be used while working in all athlete-facing areas. Okay. Oh, God, with these masks. Okay. Athletes will be provided with face coverings at packet pickup, and we expect athletes to wear a face covering around our venues. No. Absolutely not. All right. Let's nip something in the bud here. I'm not responsible for other people around me. Okay? And I know that sounds cold, but I'm not. All right? I'm responsible for me. I assume my own risk. I am not going to point the finger to somebody else because I went into a crowd. Okay? If I got into a crowd and I got a coronavirus and I died, that's on me. All right. And I expect everybody else to adapt to each risk every time they do this. Okay. When you drive a car, you accept the risk that you might get into an accident and die, but you accept that risk by getting into the car and driving. All right. Athletes here accept the same risks. They're going into a high density area. They assume that risk and accept it. And when they do go into that area, same thing with volunteers. If volunteers think that an area is very, very bad, they don't have to volunteer. Okay, this is the choice that they make. So again, why do we have to be responsible for other people? It opens up a whole can of worms. And I'll get into this whole thing. I'll put a video on that because this whole thing about being responsible for other things, I'll get into it at length because it's scary. You open up a huge can of worms in which we reduce our freedoms to nothing. Okay. All right. Screening and education. We are rolling out training for staff and volunteers in appropriate personal health, personal hygiene, and safe support in necessary functional areas. Sorry about that. I don't know, training, personal hygiene, safe support. All right, listen, if the volunteers want to go for it, go for it. Knock yourself out on that. We will be expanding an Ironman SMART programs to provide volunteer SMART guidelines for staff and volunteers. Again, if staff and volunteers want to accept that, fine, that's them, that's on them. Athletes, staff, and volunteers will be required to fill out a pre-race health questionnaire. Okay. What kind of questions will you be posing? Will you be posing this health questionnaire online? Are the questions going to be intrusive? All right. I would like to know what this questionnaire will be before I travel there, because if the questions are intrusive, I won't be traveling there. All right. Just saying. We will, in many venues, institute no-touch body temperature screening. Okay. All right. All right. Whatever. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let's see now. All right. All right. Principle number 3, I guess. Density reduction. Our teams are instituting measures to increase space for athletes and supporting personnel in areas such as swim start, transition, and finish line. Increase space. Listen, Ironman, you got 2,000 plus people in your races. How are you going to organize your transition area to promote this spacing? You're going to need a huge area to space everybody out. I mean, am I going to get out of the swim and run 1.5 miles to my bike because it's on the other end of this huge transition station? Oh, but if we're not practicing safe distancing, does it mean that we have to put on masks as we transition from swim to bike? You think that this is going to be implemented? Good luck with that. Oh my God. All right. In addition, we are making appropriate modifications to elimination of non-essential race services like banquets, in-person race briefings, etc. Guys, you want to know why the majority of people going into Ironman, they're not there to win the race. They're there to finish the race, but they're also there for social aspects of it. All right? You have to understand that it's not just the distance that goes on, it's the whole atmosphere. I sometimes go to Ironman at least a week before, because I'm there with like-minded people. I'm there interacting with them. I'm there riding with them and running with them. I'm there swimming with them. I'm there drinking with them at a bar 3 days before a race and a day after the race, okay? This whole thing, and the social, especially during the race, people cheering you on, people cheering you on. You're feeling down in the marathon, people cheering you on. The whole finish line experience. I mean, you're going to social distance people at the finish line too. I mean, you need crowds at the finish. The crowd, I mean, if you think about it, the crowd at Lake Placid is so, oh wow. I mean, the skating rink where, I mean, the Olympic skating rink, and as they're coming around the corner, everybody's cheering people on. You're going to try to eliminate that? Good luck trying to get people to sign up for your races if you're going to eliminate that. I'm sorry, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work for you. All right, touch point minimization. I guess touch point is the fact that nobody wants to touch each other, or maybe touching a common thing that an athlete area that an athlete is going to touch also. So I guess that's what they mean by touch point. All right. We will be reducing or removing touch points and points of interaction between staff, participants, and volunteers in many aspects of the event. We have redesigned and reimagined areas such as athlete check-in, expo, merchandise, transition area, and finish line to minimize person-to-person contact. The expo now you're going to redo. The expo is part of the social experience, guys. No. What are you going to do? I mean, everybody's got a social distance and wear a face mask through these expos. Do you think that that's the experience that they want when they pay $800 for your event? Do you think that that's going to work out? I don't think so. Aid stations will be reconfigured to minimize both athlete to volunteer and athlete to athlete contact. Guys, again, this disease targets old and frail people. We're Ironman athletes. We are some of the most healthy people on the face of this earth. If we get the virus, it's going to be bad and knock you out a couple of days, but we're going to recover. Why? Because we have the health. I have Ironman to Florida was deferred to 2021 personally. I also have entry into Ironman Maryland this September. I have a feeling that it's going to be postponed. We'll see what happens. Let me tell you something. If I'm forced to wear a face mask during these races, if I'm forced to get a temperature check during these races, if I'm forced to do anything, fill out intrusive questions on these races, or anything that I deem is against my wishes, I will not do these races. I will forfeit the money. And then on top of that, I will not spend another red cent on your races until you bring back the old normal. And I pretty much guarantee that other athletes will do the same too. If you're not going to have the social aspect of races, if you're going to force people to do these things in the middle of a race, in the middle of this whole racing experience, no. They're not, no, you can't do it. There's no way people are going to accept this. I mean, the whole social experience, forget about it. We're social animals, guys. There's going to be rebellion against this. All right. Again, I can give you an example. I mean, they tried to do a new normal with prohibition back in the 1920s. Guess where that happened? You had speakeasies, people basically just breaking the law to the point where the law was just so bad that they had to repeal it. And this was an amendment too. All right. Do you think that people are going to accept this new normal? I don't think so. So reconsider your guidelines, Ironman. Otherwise, you're not going to be there anymore. All right. People are not going to sign up and you're going to just go done. Anyway, Coach Iron Pete, I'm signing out. I'm ready for a nice sweaty run here. Have a nice day. Good luck.